In this video, I'm going to show you my full day of eating on an animal-based diet and more importantly, on the bulk. And I'm also going to give you a few tips on how to make bulking easier whilst eating healthy. I'm going for 4,000 calories, so let's see if we can do it. Most people, when they want to bulk, they just suck down bagels, peanut butter, junk food, all that stuff, right? And I've definitely been there, and every time I do it, I feel terrible, right? And so I want to eat healthy and bulk. I want both, right? But also, on the other side, the people who are kind of more in the animal-based or carnivore community, all they really care about is like health, and that stuff's good, but my main goal is aesthetics, really. And they also just talk about like losing weight for the most part, not really bulking. You see, I want both. I don't want to be a one-dimensional gym bro who just bulks on crappy food and then feels like crap all the time and has all these random problems. And I'll admit, it's not easy to bulk eating purely clean food, and I've definitely struggled in the past. What is easy is bulking on, pizza and donuts and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, it's kind of not easy if you think about it. Because if you're bulking on shitty food, what's not easy about that is when you feel like shit all the time and you have a bunch of random problems. Like when you just feel bloated and, your digestive system's kind of messed up. You just don't feel good. Because when you eat healthy, then you feel good. And when you feel good, you have more energy. And when you have more energy, then your workouts are probably going to be a lot better. And also just like when you eat healthier, your whole body is just in like a better state. You're just like less inflamed. It has less fires to put out sort of from eating crappy food, and it can allocate more of those resources to muscle growth. So let's get into the full day of eating. So for breakfast, started off having 9 eggs, and that's gonna be cooked in about 20 to 25 grams of butter, and also 400 milliliters of freshly squeezed orange juice. So what is an animal-based diet? Well, the term was kind of coined by Paul Saladino, and he kind of popularized it. But it's basically where you just eat meat and fruit, to put it simply. But also a few other things, like you can have raw dairy, like raw milk, raw butter, and also raw honey. But other than those, for the most part, it's like carnivore, but with fruit. And also organs and stuff are included in that. I kind of see it as the upgraded carnivore diet for muscle growth, because you get the carbs, and that's beneficial. See, I used to do the carnivore diet about a year ago. I did it for a month when I was playing badminton, and it served me pretty good. I was undefeated that year actually, and I won like every game, first place in my tournament. But then after the season ended, I kind of just realized like I care more about muscle growth, and I kind of concluded that carbs would be beneficial for that. So that's why I'm doing animal based. By the way, the eggs, I don't really know if they're like pasture raised or organic or whatever. And honestly, it's good enough for me at the stage I'm at. And maybe in the future I'll think about it more, but like for now, let's be real. Even the cheapest grocery store eggs you can buy that are using all the hormones and everything is still going to be a better breakfast than anabolic French toast. Same goes for like all the other stuff I'm eating. I don't really know if it's like organic, grass-fed or whatever, but it's good enough for me for now. So for this first meal, it's about 1,000 calories, and even though in the app it says like just scrambled eggs, it is actually accounting for the butter as well. And that leads me to my first tip, which is to track your calories. This is very important. You can use the same app as me, Chronometer, or MyFitnessPal, or like whatever else. There's a few of them. And you also need a food scale. Also, it's a lot easier to track your calories when all you eat is meat and fruit, because it just makes it really simple. But you need to do this, because if you don't track your calories, then how do you know if you're eating enough to actually bulk? Like, you're kind of shooting in the dark. So if you track, that really gives you the certainty that you are eating enough, and you can actually see if you're not eating enough to increase it. Because whenever I kind of like slack on tracking my calories, I just like don't gain any weight. Like a few months ago, I was stuck in a huge plateau for months. I was at the same weight. And then I finally started tracking again, because I was kind of slacking on it, right? And then I actually started gaining weight, like consistently. So very important, start tracking your calories if you aren't already. So the second meal of the day, which is post-workout, is going to be a lot of ground beef, about 431 grams to be specific, and also about 300 grams of cherries. So the second tip, which is a huge one, and that is to plan out your meals and plan out your day of eating, basically. And this involves, basically, you just kind of want to see, like, what do I really need to eat to get my calories for that day? And really just plan it out. Because basically what I did is I just went into the app, right, like Chronometer or whatever, and basically just mapped out an entire day of eating and sort of adjusted the portions to meet my calorie goal of about 4,000, right? So like when I first put it in there, like what I would typically eat in a full day, and then it wasn't really meeting like 4,000. It was honestly closer to like 3,000. And so basically I just adjusted the portions of each food until it was at 4,000. Also, another thing is to sort of plan out each meal. So for example, if your goal for the day is 4,000, then if you're eating 3 meals a day, it's roughly 1,300 per meal. So you can make sure each meal is hitting that equally. But actually what I do is I don't really split it up evenly. So my breakfast is 1,000, and then my lunch and dinner are both about 1,500. But as long as at the end of the day the total meets your goal, then that's all that matters. And for the last meal of the day, for dinner, I'm having steak, and I think it's sirloin, but I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. It's just like a generic cut, about 425 grams, and having 53 grams of bacon and 4 mandarins, as well as 4 dried dates, which are about 43 grams. So yeah, that's 4,000 calories, and that basically proves you can bulk, in fact, whilst eating healthy. So I do not want to see you with the cinnamon toast crunch thinking you're Sam Sulek, or the anabolic French toast. Alright, it's totally possible. And honestly, if you get full, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Just keep eating. It doesn't matter. Like for lunch, the ground beef, I was getting full by the time it was like the last few pieces. But guess what? It doesn't matter. I just kept eating. Like I've been to the point where I'm just stuffing myself with ground beef to where I actually think if I take another bite, I'm scared I'm gonna like throw up everywhere. And to be honest, I wasn't really that full throughout the day like yesterday, because when you eat clean, it's like you don't really feel full. Like you don't feel bloated. You actually feel like you can still move around after you ate, which is a good thing. And I'm still gaining weight from it. So I remember a few weeks ago, I ate about the same amount of calories in a meal, except I ate a bunch of like spaghetti, and my stomach felt so bloated. I felt terrible, and I had gas for like the whole day. Sometimes you do gotta make sacrifices to bulk. Like sometimes you just don't have enough food, like the healthy food, and I kind of get it. Like I've been there. You definitely gotta, do what it takes to get that calorie goal. But if you can, at least for the most part, try to make it from healthy food, because you'll just feel way better. It's overall just better for you. I know I'm not saying that if you bulk on dirty food, you're gonna put on fat and not muscle. Like honestly, it doesn't affect like muscle that much. It's more so just your health and how much you actually feel good in your body, which is arguably more important. And honestly, a lot of the time for me, it's more just about the planning, not really the hunger. Like I kind of just didn't like think it through the day, and then I think I'm full, but really I could eat more. It's just that if the meal was there, always ready, like to the portion that I needed, I'd be able to get it down every time. It's just that it's not always there. So to conclude, you can in fact bulk on healthy food, and that's what I'm gonna be trying to do for the next few years, probably. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna bulk for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's it for this video. Have a good one.